Estimating. Estimating. What is estimating? Zach Roth, what does it mean to estimate something? And why would you use estimating?
Estimating is rounding something to the closest to 100.
Kind of, not always though. Estimating is, Sophia?
Is your guessing on what you know?
Okay, guess is, yeah, making a reasonable guess. For example, I mean, a time when you estimate is, okay, let's say, you get to run into the store. Your mom says, oh, I want you to buy a gallon of milk, and I want you to get a loaf of bread, and I want you to get a case of soda. Okay, and she's going to give you money. She's probably going to estimate how much you need. She's not going to know exactly how much you need, but she'll estimate and give you maybe a little bit more. I mean, so you'd say, okay, a gallon of milk is probably about what? Does anybody know?
$2 to $3.
Yeah, I would guess it's about $3. And a loaf of bread is probably, I'd say a couple bucks. And a case of pop, if you're getting a big 24 pack, is probably, it's more than 5. Nah, it's probably about 8 or so. So, you'd get this and your mom would probably give you $15, or maybe she'd give you 20 or whatever. Okay, we use estimating because sometimes close is good enough. Okay. Now, in order to estimate things, we do two different things when we estimate. We use what we round, which is we've talked about before, and we use compatible numbers. Okay, and it's kind of the same thing, but you want to basically take numbers. You want to take numbers and make them easy to deal with. You want to make them so that you can kind of do it in your head. Able to do mentally. Okay. So here is an example problem with that. It says to estimate the product of 19 and, say 29? 29 and 19. Estimate the product of 29 and 19. Now please note, it doesn't say to do the problem and then round your answer. If you're asked to estimate, they want you to make these two numbers, and you may not be able to do it in your head, but they want to make it so it's pretty easy to do. Okay? So estimating these two means you probably round these to what? 29 is close to what? 19 is close to what? That would be easy to do, John?
30 and 20.
Right, you'd probably say 30 and 20, and product means to multiply, and hopefully that's not a hard multiplication problem for you. You may not be able to do it in your head, but certainly it doesn't take very long on paper. You end up with 600. It's not that hard. Okay, again, they're not asking you to do 29 and 19 then round your answer. They're asking you to change, and these are making like compatible numbers. Yeah, you're rounding, but you're also making things that are easy to work with. Another example would be estimate the sum. What would be the sum? Estimate the sum of $8.95, $7.23, $11.42, and $6.89. So in order to do that, you probably would change what to what? $8.95 you'd probably make $9. $7.23 you'd probably make $7. $11.42, 11, and $6.89, so probably $7. And then that math's pretty easy because 9 and 11 is 20. 7 plus 7 is 14, so you end up with $34. And again, remember, it's not adding them all up and then rounding it, it's rounding them so they're easy to add and then getting the answer. And estimating, there's some wiggle room. Some of you, you know, you can make a case for, you know, whatever you have there. One more, how about this one? A cat weighs 14 pounds. Cat weighs 14 pounds. A tortoise, I'm sure you've all got it in your house, weighs 103 pounds. Estimate how many more pounds is the tortoise. Sometimes you gotta think a little bit on this here. What would be your estimate? What would you change those numbers to make them relatively, and again, you have to try to do this so you get close enough to not be, I mean, you wouldn't round to make that nothing and make that 100 and say it's 100 pounds more, because that's kind of, you could get closer by not such hard work here. What would you say? Tortoise is 100, cat weighs about 10, so 100 minus 10 is about 90 pounds would be a decent answer for that. You want to do your rounding, your estimating so that things kind of work out relatively simply. And most of you are pretty good at that anyway, so. Alrighty, children, your assignment then shall be